Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Hi, Lisa K. Donner here from Liberty Nation, and with me today is Scott Cosenza, Legal Affairs Editor for LibertyNation.com. And Scott, it's been kind of a strange and interesting week for Michael Avenatti. Is he going to be turning in one of those Tom Fords for an orange jumpsuit anytime soon?
Lisa, this has been quite a year for Michael Avenatti and quite a week in that year. We've seen now the second referral to the Justice Department for federal crimes by the Senate Judiciary Committee. So Chuck Grassley has said to the Department of Justice that he believes that Mr. Avenatti may have committed federal crimes and said, basically, will you investigate these crimes, please? Now, it's fair to keep in mind that the Senate Judiciary Committee exerts oversight over the FBI. So this is well worse than just a complaint that you or I may call in to complain about somebody's behavior. And it's happened now twice this past week.
Okay, let me ask you this. Our viewers mostly know the news, so to speak. So what I'm looking for from you is some commentary on where do you think this is going to go? I mean, is this really serious, Scott, what Grassley has done, or is this just a head fake?
If the boss of the FBI tells the FBI to investigate you, they're going to investigate you. Chuck Grassley isn't the boss, but he exhibits considerable control. And when we live in a society where there are so many things that are federal crimes, there are some legal estimates that each of us who are not bad people, mind you, I'm not talking about serial killers or something, commit several felonies a day or a week because of the breadth of the federal law, which is why you would not want a federal law enforcement officer just poking around in your affairs, because they may find that you have inadvertently committed a federal crime. So whether or not he did these crimes, it's not a good idea for somebody. And Donald Trump well knows this, right? I mean, this is a situation where it's never good for a person to have law enforcement poking around in their affairs, whether or not they did this or something else.
Right, but whether he's going to be wearing orange or not, the chances are good that his bank account's going to take a big hit, right?
Lisa, it's absolutely a foregone conclusion that it will. Mr. Avenatti, if he's smart, will hire a criminal defense attorney to protect his interests in this case. They say, what is it? You have an ask for a lawyer if you're your own client, or anyway. But it's rare.
Yeah, you shouldn't be your own client if you're a
right.
lawyer. Yeah.
And so it would make sense that that's the case. And also, you have to presume that the other opportunities that he has for money making are absolutely going to go down the tubes because of these allegations. And let's again return to there was damning news about Mr. Avenatti's behavior that was released at the very end of this week, sort of a news dumpy kind of thing. NBC News released on Friday afternoon a story that they themselves concealed the fact from their viewers in the world that the second Avenatti accuser, this was an unnamed woman who put forth an affidavit that alleged that she had seen Kavanaugh engage in disgusting and nefarious activity, actually said to the NBC News producers who called to verify her story that it never happened that way. Now, let me be clear, Lisa. This was prior to that affidavit being sent to the subcommittee and prior to its release by NBC News. So before they released
it. Yeah, but Scott, isn't this just a CYA by NBC? I mean, aren't they trying to kind of pull back and say, oh, it wasn't us, it was him?
I think that's probably right. And the reaction that sober viewers, I would hope, would have is to say a pox on both their houses, that NBC News is guilty as hell for what they did. And Michael Avenatti, if it's true, is guilty as hell for what he did.
All right. Now, what do you think this means for Avenatti in terms of his political aspirations, which are quite large?
Lisa, it seems like the establishment Democrats are now running away from Michael Avenatti. They were backing away from him with the Kavanaugh stuff, and this is just getting worse and worse. Now, the progressives and the hardcore, we'll see if they have a similar reaction. They seem to be more tolerant of bad behavior. So whether that includes this level of bad behavior or not, we'll have to see.
All right. Well, quoting you, at one point, Mr. Avenatti was large and in charge. Now, maybe not so much. All right. Anything else that you have to add to the Avenatti scorecard for the week?
I don't think so. Do you know about the white guy stuff? Did we talk? So this is another reason why the progressives actually may, if they're going to jettison Avenatti, so just like NBC News' Andy Lack used Megyn Kelly's blackface as a beard to fire her for her Me Too comments about the network, I could see progressives using the following as a beard to sort of jettison Michael Avenatti because of his poor performance, which is that he's reported to have said in an interview to Time in June, which they only released at the end of this week, which is another thing. Like I say, these Democrat establishment types are jettisoning Avenatti. They released the interview this week, and surely they must have known the bombshell that it was, where Avenatti says that the Democrat nominee for president should be a white man. Now, he says that it should be a white man, not because he's a racist and he is in favor of whites ruling, but the opposite, and that so many other people are give discredit to the voices of non-whites, that's why it needs to be a white man. But of course, the progressives, the virulent progressives, the ones that were most buoying to Avenatti's political aspirations, are the ones who are least likely to be able to appreciate nuance or any kind of functional explanation to remarks that may seem on their face to be anti-African American, and that seems to be what's happening in that universe. So again, a troubling week a Basta week for Michael Avenatti, to be sure.
All righty. Well, thank you very much. That's Scott Cosenza, Legal Affairs Editor for Liberty Nation. I'm Lisa K. Donner, Editor-in-Chief. Please hit our website, libertynation.com, or go to a great conservative aggregator, whatfinger.com, and you can read Liberty Nation both places. Thanks so much for watching.
Visit us at libertynation.com.